Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Two for Talking podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tusick. We've got comedian Joe Bartnick. You can check out his latest tour dates at joebartnick.com. Check him out at the City Winery for Matt Light's Ugly Christmas Sweater Party on December 13th. And if you're in Fort Myers, Florida, on New Year's Eve, he will be at Snappers. So New Year's Eve with Joe Bartnick sounds like a pretty darn good time, if you ask me. And then always we have the great Josh Yohe with The Athletic. And guys, I want to get into the Jarry trade rumors and injury news eventually, but first off, this team can be so maddening to watch. And Josh, I think you really lay that out well in your articles because they win games that they shouldn't, and then they lose games that they are clearly the better team. I know Sunday against Dallas was one of their better performances, Josh, but is it worrying that their best performance can only get 1 point in a loss? You know, like that's starting to worry me a little bit.
Well, first of all, I can't wait for this ugly sweater party, Joe. And the Penguins have a Saturday matinee that day. So that actually, my Saturday night is completely open. So I'm very excited.
Mr. Yohe, you know you're always on any guest list of when I'm appearing. I need to get an ugly sweater though. Unfortunately, I don't have any ugly sweaters. I want to get like one of those vintage like Hulkamania ones or something.
Ooh,
like that.
It's not a bad idea. I got to think about that myself. But anyway, no, Corey, you raise a point. Now, big picture, you get 5 out of 6 points on that trip, and you're not complaining. That was a really tough, especially Tampa and Dallas. You get 3 out of 4 points in those two buildings. Yeah. Now, listen, the Penguins have a problem. They don't protect leads well, and it's been a problem for years. A lot of it is because their best players just aren't wired that way. They're not good defensively. They're wired to score more and more and more. They don't have good defensive habits, and I think that trickles down throughout the lineup. But I will say that game in Dallas on Sunday, guys, they played an almost perfect third period. I mean, they really did. They just, the fourth line got trapped out there for a long time. Shit happens. So you're right. They have certainly given away some points in the shootouts and just blowing late leads. That is their flaw. But every team in the East has flaws. That just happens to be the Penguins. I still prefer to look at this team from a very positive standpoint right now.
Yeah, Josh, first of all, I should have had more coffee because I missed the easiest joke of all. I'm going to wear an ugly sweater. I'm going to wear a Broussard Penguin sweater.
I think most of them are burnt, so you'd have to get a custom-made one.
Back to hockey stuff. One is, I was signed for the loser point when I woke up Sunday morning. So, and I even said, no matter how it comes, I'll be happy with the loser point. And I think 5 out of 6 is fantastic. I don't have a problem. I thought that was a great road trip for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, blowing leads with the goalie pulled. That's kind of what's going around in the league. You see more and more of it all the time. So I don't think that's a Penguin epidemic. The shootout is why they don't try Kindle, Covenant, or anybody. But I was just shocked Letang tried a different move.
Yeah, I know.
It was just the backhanded I've seen, since 2008. So, but you're right, Corey, though. It was their best. I think it might have been their best performance of the year.
It was up there. I mean, listen, you give up 19 shots in regulation to that Dallas team on a day when you don't have Malkin in the lineup. That really got my attention. That was impressive. Now, mind you, they did not play well in Tampa at all. They got dominated most of that game. Tristan Jarry stole that game. So you have to consider that in the equation, I think. But as for the shootouts, I think it's really time for Dan Muse to start doing something different. I don't mind Crosby being in the shootouts, but Letang in particular, I think he has like one shootout goal in the last 3 years, or literally. He's just not very good at it anymore. And that tends to be something that you lose with age. And they actually do practice it now. And watching Koivunen and Kindle in the shootouts, they're way better at it. I mean, the young guys usually are. That's just the way it is. The next time the Penguins are in a shootout, and given how tight the league is right now, it probably won't be long. I certainly would encourage them to try something different. Jarry actually gave you a save. He wasn't bad in the shootout the other day. You give up one to Rantanen, that's going to happen. But you can't keep costing yourself this many points. I think they've lost 8 shootouts in a row. Is it going back a couple of years now? That's there once was a time when they were automatic in shootouts in the days of the Flower, and those days are gone. But you can't keep hemorrhaging points like that when the playoff race is this tight. So I think their 3-on-3 play's gotten better from where it was in October. You got to try something different in shootouts.
Well, then you look at Philadelphia, who, with the help of Zegras, is like 6-0 in shootouts.
Yeah.
That's 6 points. I mean,
Yeah.
that's 3 wins.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a
that's
huge difference. No,
pretty
it
much why
absolutely
they're
is.
in the picture.
Right. So, yeah, I would suggest they do so. And even, Sid, I would say Sid's never been a great breakaway artist. When he was younger, he was pretty good. Far be it for me to tell Sidney Crosby how to play hockey, but the whole going out wide to the left wing boards and then slowly it doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't. And I almost think he's being stubborn about it at this point. I always have in my head during that, what would Mario say on breakaways? He would say going with speed. That was always his advice for people on breakaways, and I don't think enough people take that advice anymore.
Well, and Gino looked great on his breakaway in game action in Tampa.
When he's not thinking about it, yes.
Yeah.
That is
That's
true.
a-
That was actually a pretty move, was it not? But yeah, I mean, the shootouts are. I think we all kind of knew. I was there in Dallas, and you guys, I'm sure, were watching. We all kind of knew when it went to the shootout, like, they're shit out of luck. They're not going to win this one. It's not good when you kind of know beforehand.
And then Jarry got a pipe and a save, and I was like, wow. And, but then you get Rantanen. It's like, it was just amazing that Ray held Rantanen that whole game anyway. Or I should say Jarry held Rantanen the whole game. And Jarry played amazing. And Shea had a couple just Letang-esque turnovers. Carlson had a Letanger. Wotherspoon had there was just
a couple.
5 Danny's pizzas floating out there that somehow they did not connect.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I thought the Penguins in general played a really good game, but all of their defensemen, it seemed like, had that one awful turn. Letang was actually the only one who didn't. I thought he was pretty good on Sunday. It was one of his better games. Carlson was the first shift of the game, and Wotherspoon had 2 awful turnovers in the first period, and then Shea set Rantanen up right on the doorstep in the second period. So they took turns turning the puck over. I thought it was as responsible as a game as I've seen from their forwards all season. And I also think, like, as good as Dallas is, I think the Penguins match up with the bigger, heavier teams a little better. I think it's the teams that play the speed game that are really a problem for them. And we saw it with Tampa. That Tampa team's faster than I realized. Man, their speed gave the Penguins fits all night.
I mean, Josh, me and you, I think both have agreed for a couple of years now that Dallas is, if anything, they're the second best team in the NHL on paper, if not on ice. And we played them pretty much straight up. And I mean, we basically lost because we took an unfortunate icing with our bottom pair defensemen and our fourth line on the ice. And really, I think Graves had a decent game. I mean, I think it wasn't his best game of the year, but he wasn't playing that bad. But then you get to Tampa, and they got scored a little bit. The Tampa has so much offense, but I think Tampa was the ultimate game, and this is no knock on Sullivan, that they lose last year going away.
God,
It's 6-3. Once they lose that lead, there's a dumb penalty, and it's 6-3, and Kucherov has a hat trick.
Yes, they absolutely get murdered in that game last season. And I also want to say, we spend most of our time talking about the Penguins. In my years covering the Penguins, I can't remember many times where I saw an opposing player who was more dominant than Nikita Kucherov was in that game on Thursday night. He was unbelievable in that game. He had 10 shots on goal. He had a goal and an assist. He had a goal called back that Penguins certainly got a break on that call. He could have had 6 or 7 points that game. He was that good. I talked with Erik Karlsson after the game, and I said, Jesus, Kucherov. And Karlsson said to me, like, I've been in the league 15 years. I still have no idea what to do against that guy. Like, he was so good in that game. Like, I was blown away by his performance. I'm still not sure how the Penguins won that game, but I know Tristan Jarry is the biggest.
I love seeing all the
he's
fans.
literally one of the 5 or 6 reasons why Canada's been ducking him in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if Canada wants a gold medal, they don't want Kucherov there. So draw to that what you will. Yeah, and it killed me though, like seeing all the Tampa fans, like, oh, did you see the one guy say he made he invented a term? A guy, some fan or writer was like, he knocked the puck down with his hand. It wasn't a hand pass. I'm like, that's what it is. Like, I mean, it sucks and it wasn't on purpose, but it hit his hand
Well,
but you could see on Kucherov's face as soon as he saw they were reviewing it, because he was so snake bitten that night, and like I mean, how many sticks he probably broke on the bench, I don't know. You probably could see from the press box, but I saw one on TV. And as soon as they announced they were reviewing it, they showed him on TV, and he was like, "Yep, I know this is coming back."
yeah, I mean,
So
it's one of those, how I feel about instant replay in general. I hate it. And if that happened to the Penguins fans would have gone nuts just the way Tampa fans did, because it was not a conventional hand pass by any stretch.
no, no.
The puck hit off of his glove. By the rule, they made the right call. God, Cooper was hilarious after the game, though. He was just at his indignant best. It was actually hard for me to stop from giggling. Like it was so funny when he gets worked up like that. He went into full lawyer mode. It was great.
What did he say? If I throw this microphone at you,
yes. Would you put your hand up?
It was the call from the governor, though. Just when you thought, I thought for sure we were going to lose in overtime when he scored that.
Oh, they would have been fortunate just to get it to overtime. The way that game was going. Oh yeah. But I thought it was maybe, and Jarry usually plays very well there, for whatever reason. But I mean, we can't really talk enough about Jarry right now, guys. Like I mean, every single game, and this is who Tristan is, right? Like when he's bad, he's really, really bad. He's so bad he gets sent to the AHL. When he's good, and it's usually this time of year. We've seen him get hot this time of year a couple of other times, and he ended up in the All-Star game. When he's hot, there's not many goalies better, Joe.
No, I guess there is no All-Star game this year. So is he going to be Canada's representative?
I mean,
they don't have many better.
No, I mean, he should be in the running in all seriousness. I don't know if he is, but
I agree. But in Jarry's defense, and I usually don't make a living in his defense, this is the best defense he's played behind.
Yeah. No, they're certainly playing a better brand of defense. There's no question about that. That goes hand in hand with it. I mean, this blue line we thought was such of a disaster before the season. It's been okay. Hasn't been great, but it's been okay. And I think we're seeing a commitment defensively. Like this might be the best I've ever seen Gino play defensively. And the Kindle line, even though they're a bunch of rookies, like Kindle and McGroarty are really good defensively. Like I thought Kindle was their best defensive player against Tampa. So yes, they are making a concerted effort to take care of their goaltenders more this season. But I still give Jarry credit. He's operating at a much, much higher level than we've seen from him in a long time.
There was a report out there
tonight. What do you? I guess it had to come. I don't know. I'd like to get 2 points at home when you come back, because I watch a lot of Ducky hockey, and without Gino, without the firepower, this is going to be a tough game.
It is, and it's a tough game for Shelovs to come back to, because Anaheim can really score. Their forwards are legit. I knew he would get a start soon. I thought it might be the Montreal game Thursday, just because Anaheim's so potent offensively. Shelovs has been yanked his last 2 outings. He hasn't played in 2 weeks. This is not going to be an easy game for him. I would assume the Penguins are going to have to rack up some offense of their own to win this game. That Anaheim team's not the kind of team you just shut down.
And I'll tell you one thing too. You might as well not even, if they get to the shootout, they can just hit the showers. They're not being Anaheim shootout.
No, I wouldn't think so. Certainly not Shelovs, who I think is 1 for 9 on shootouts this year. So it's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. Anaheim is really, really fun to watch. They're one of my favorite teams in the league to watch right now. They don't really shut you down defensively, but they will outscore you. And, Carlson has become a real star for them. That their forward lines are really good. Obviously, Joel Quenneville's done an excellent job there. So yeah, it's one of those teams, for years now, I say, Anaheim at home, that's a game you should win. I don't really think you feel that way anymore. I think tonight's just a really interesting game.
I believe they're probably in first place. And, they
Mhm.
have guys Seneca, that guy, especially, he's like 18 years old.
I know.
Like he gets like 30 pounds on him. He's going to be Shanahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're formidable. And I don't know how you guys feel about sometimes throwing a goaltender that's struggling to the Wolves. Like I feel like if you insulate them, sometimes it kind of can backfire. If you're playing against like an easy team, they let up a weak one. They kind of know. I don't know. That's just my personal theory. Unless you're Jarry. No offense, Jarry. Thank you for everything you've been doing. But usually mentally tougher goaltenders, and I will find out what she loves tonight if he is.
And Shilov's, I mean, you can look at it so many different ways, but I think when you get 5 out of 6 points on a road trip, it does take away. It's not like it's a must-win game tonight. I mean, it's not. I mean, I know everyone gets pissed anytime they lose, but it's not a must-win game. So you can throw Shilovs out there, and Shilovs is the kind of guy too. He'll steal you games sometimes. That's always been his thing. Yeah, he'll fall apart some games. He's streaky. He'll steal you games other times. But you did have to get Tristan a little bit of a rest at some point. So, now Tristan will be rested coming back Thursday against Montreal. He'll split the games this weekend, and then you bring Jarry back, I'm sure, against McDavid and Leon against Edmonton to close out the homestand. So he'll play 3 out of the 5 games, I'm sure. By and large, the goaltending's been really good for the Penguins. That's been a big part of their success, no question. It's a 5-game homestand, so I know that's 5-game homestand. Time to make some hay. Be careful though. There's some good teams on this homestand. This is a nasty stretch of schedule. So we'll see how they start off tonight. But boy, when you start out those long homestands with a win, it sure does make a difference.
That's what I'm saying. And I'll tell you, I was scared about this 3-game road trip. I thought this would have been the hardest road trip of the season.
It's up there.
And 5 out of 6.
Yeah. No. And the Penguins, by the way, have played the fewest amount of home games of any Eastern Conference team. So not only do they have games in hand on teams, but they have a lot of home games in hand. So that's good, but you still have to take advantage of that. And now for those who haven't heard yet, the Penguins announced this morning that Gino Malkin has been put on injured reserve. He's being considered week to week. So he's probably out for this homestand, if I had to guess. A little surprising. Penguins told us over the weekend in Dallas it was just a maintenance day for Malkin. I saw him at practice Saturday. He did not appear to be in any great distress. We expected him to play in Dallas on Sunday, and he didn't. And now we're being told he's out week to week. So certainly a blow for the Penguins without him.
I'm vehemently against load management, but go ahead, Joe.
It was a blow for me because my daughter was hoping to see Malkin when she came home for Christmas.
Yeah, that didn't work out well.
What was the other news, Josh, which is it's not a Hall of Famer, but the fourth line is Blake Lizotte is now on the IR, and he's probably he's in the top 10 of guys I don't want to lose.
I really respect the way he's played. I mean, this guy plays so hard every night, and that fourth line, Joe, with Lizotte, Achari, and Dewar. I don't know why it works as well as it does, but it does. And Achari came back into the lineup Sunday in Dallas. He was great. He played a really good game. So you're going to have Danton Heinen filling in now for Lizotte. Heinen's a nice guy to have around. You can fill him in here and there, and he'll be okay. But I don't really think of him as a fourth-line center or a guy who does the kind of things that Lizotte does. He certainly doesn't have the motor that Lizotte does, so that's a concern.
Well, yes, and if anyone was, and thank you everyone who watches and listens, thank you very much. I've been looking at my phone because I did see somebody tweeted out the new lines at practice, and that's what I've been trying to find on my phone for this discussion here. I was hoping that Heinen was going to come in and play second line center,
Well,
or even play with Sid and Rusty because. Of course I mark Hayes in Dallas and in Tampa slower than frozen Heinz ketchup on the back check.
And he was responsible for 2 goals against.
-2. Oh, I know. Everyone loves him. He's quite a jokester. Well, that's great. Enjoy the popcorn and tell him jokes. I need a back check, Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, he was certainly wasn't catching Kucherov on the first Tampa goal. And, it's easy to blame Graves because he was trapped on the 2-on-1, but he actually made the right play. He was going after the puck, and Hayes was just really, really slow. Never really got back into the play, which turned it into a 2-on-1. I agree with you, and I will go over the lines briefly. Novak's going to play with Crosby and Rust again, which makes sense. They were pretty
Yes.
good together. Hayes is just going to slot in for Gino between Brazo and Mantha, and that makes the kid line, the same, but I'd make that my second line, Joe. I think that's their second best line right now with McGroarty and Koivunen. And they did, by the way, see more minutes than the Hayes line in Dallas. And the fourth line, you're just gonna slot in Heinen right now. It looks like with Achari and Dewar. So we will see how that pans out. But it puts a lot of pressure on the kid line. Those guys have to be good. But so far, I have been really impressed. I think Kindle looks better playing with those two. That's the best we've seen him since October, I think.
That line was great, and that line had a ton of chances, and McGroarty has defensive awareness.
Yeah.
And so does Kindle. I like
Yep.
that line a lot. The call-ups were Poulin and Heinen, and I'm asking, did Bros take the last donut off of Muse's plate? Morning skate? Like what? I mean, it seems like Bros is the perfect fit for that fourth line.
I'm a little surprised by that myself. He only played, I think, the one game at the NHL level, right? He didn't really have a great game. It's his first NHL game. Like, he wasn't terrible. I would certainly like to see him get more of a look. Poulin, I think, came up just as insurance. I don't think you're going to see him in the lineup, certainly not tonight. But yeah, the Heinen thing doesn't make sense to me, especially because it's a center that's out. Like, if you needed a winger, I could understand bringing Heinen up. Bros is a natural center. I don't really understand this one either.
Well, I honestly don't have a problem with Heinen. He's an NHL player.
Fine,
Like,
right.
But what the hell has Sam Poulin done?
It's like the
I mean, at least Competent went to waivers. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
No one wanted Competent.
No,
yeah.
I didn't want to see him play anymore myself, so
Yeah.
I don't think I'm alone in that, in fact.
Yeah, I feel like this is the Roman Wilson treatment, like Bros. It's just like, what are you gonna do? Like, get this guy in the lineup, I don't really need to see more of Sam Poulin. I mean, Josh, you watch the team in person way more closely than I do, but I think I've seen enough.
Well, Poulin, I will say he had a better training camp than he's had in the past, which I think got the attention of the new coaches who were not really familiar with him. But every time we see him at the NHL level, I just don't think there's a whole lot there. I'm not that impressed. Whereas Bros is a different story. And like I've said all year, I understand not wanting to bring up all the rookies together. You kind of should do it one by one. But this kind of baffles me. I just think he's their best option at fourth
And
line
for
center.
that matter, the elephant in the room, literally, Boko Imama. Hey, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with an Achari Dewar Obama line?
You know how I feel about Boko. It's much the same as you.
Yeah.
And
No,
it seems like every time he plays well. The team wins. he certainly brings a certain amount of energy. And as I've said before, he's not some goon. Like, he can play. He's perfectly serviceable as a hockey player, and he obviously brings other elements to the table. I agree with you. I think he should be here no matter what. Doesn't mean he should play every game, but I think at worst he should be their 13th forward right now.
Well, the Duckies got Ross the boss who will dance, and then they got Gudis, who we talked about last week, somehow turned into a Lady Bing candidate. But they also have Trouba, who absolutely knocked somebody out last week. I'm spacing right now with a clean hit, a superstar, not a superstar. I mean, a very good. Oh, who the hell? I'm spacing now. But anyway,
I'll look it up real quick. Yeah.
Nice to have Boca, because Trouba does not like to go against the heavyweights.
No, he doesn't. No, you just said it with him and Gudis. I mean, they've got some people who need to be kept in line a little bit, and that's kind of what Boko brings to the table. Completely agree with you, and I'm telling you, just from being around the team, and I know some people say this doesn't really matter, But there's just a different feel in that locker room when Boko's around. Everybody loves him. He just has an energy about him that I would want him around more if I were the Penguins. And you will see him up. I do think he'll come up sporadically throughout the season. And I understand the way rosters work. Sometimes you can't keep everybody up at the same time, but I would have him around a little more often myself.
Yeah, I just don't see what Sam Poulin brings to the table. That's all. You want to try somebody else out. Even Avery Hayes. I mean, just if you want to bring something different up. But I've seen this fish before.
Yeah. Sam Poulin has long struck me as somebody who badly needs a change of scenery. And frankly, if not for the fact that he were a former first round pick, I don't even know that he'd still be in the organization. When you're a former first round pick, that gives you're going to get a few more chances because of that. And I understand that, but he just doesn't look like an NHL player to me.
And like, God bless the young man, but he took like a year off for mental reasons. So he's like has a red shirt year in there, or he probably would already be gone, I would think.
Maybe. Yeah, for sure. No, he's a really nice kid. I certainly hope for the best for him. And he's overcome a lot, and good for him. I just I don't see where he fits onto this team, even when they're banged up. I feel like there's probably better options right now. So we'll see. But this, look at the standings. The Penguins aren't in a spot where they can take any games off right now, as well as they've played. I don't recall the standings ever being tight like this. So it might only be December, but you better believe every one of these games matters right now.
Oh, Josh, I mean, you said it last week, I think. We're like a 4-game losing streak away from being at the bottom of the East. At the same token, we're a 4-game win streak away from being at the top. So, yeah, I would hate to see them take any step back. It just, like I said earlier, it is starting to worry me a little bit. There's almost an expectation that they're going to blow the lead. That's starting to creep in. And yeah, it's one thing. I think it helps me temper my expectations as a fan to be like, don't get crazy. This is not a Stanley Cup team. Let's go for a playoff game. Let's go for a couple rounds. Let's make it to the second round. It's kind of like where the Steelers are right now. The Steelers beat the Ravens. Like, oh my God, Super Bowl. No, not Super Bowl. Same with the Penguins.
Real quick, it was Leonard, the young kid from Washington, that got blown up.
Yeah, Spencer Carberry wasn't very happy about that. I don't blame him.
He wasn't. Terrible Tommy was a pedestrian. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a clean hit. I mean, it wasn't like he got the game misconduct, which I always think is BS. When someone gives a devastating hit, then gets escorted to safety with a shower.
Yeah, yeah. Let them face the music. Much like, I don't know, do you guys remember that one? It was years ago when Colby lit up Saku Koivu.
Yeah.
And then Sheldon Surrey just came. Yeah. And then Sheldon Surrey just came in. I remember, like, I was at the game. I could see from a mile away the moment that it happened. I saw Surrey's gloves go. I was like, good old hockey. But we don't do that anymore.
No,
we don't do that
not
anymore.
As much. That was the old Colby special when he would catch people when they had the puck going behind the net.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't a dirty hit. I love that hit.
Well, I
love that.
Maybe slightly questionable, but I wouldn't say dirty necessarily.
No,
but one that required retribution, perhaps.
You rarely see that hit anymore. That's almost been legislated out of I bet people get a game for that nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You remember when Ovechkin tried that on Malkin, and Malkin pulled up and like helicoptered Ovechkin into the boards? That was
that was during that strange time when Ovechkin was taking runs at Malkin constantly. There was about a 2 or 3 year span when he was just trying to kill him. It was a very interesting time for the Russians.
Yeah. Well, let's get.
They would have been aligned to take on Canada, but no,
can't do that, Joe. Can't have actual international tournament.
Bring your dog to the corner.
It's funny. Me and my brother were actually talking about the Summit Series last night. Of all things, we were like, that's such a Canada thing. We're like, oh, we can't beat you, so we're just going to hack your legs off.
Very much so.
Let's get to the Tristan Jarry news. But before we do that, because Elliot Friedman's coming out with a lot of stuff there. But before we do that, we got Mr. Bill Neofis, who, with the Penguins having a good weekend, And then the Ravens losing to the Steelers had to have been good for Mr. Neofis. And if you are a Neofis Insurance client, I'm sure you could walk in the office and talk sports with him right now, and he'd be in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, he certainly is delighted with the way the Penguins are playing. I think anybody should be. The expectations were so low for these Penguins entering the season, and as we speak, they're on pace for, I think, 104 points. I don't think anybody saw that coming, and we're not that far from the halfway point in the season. So it's probably time to start taking these Penguins seriously. And here's a segue. It's time to start taking your insurance seriously too. And we all know this. As we tell you about on this podcast every week, it doesn't matter what your insurance needs are. Our friends at the Neofis Insurance Group will absolutely have you covered. They will save you money. They will save you stress. They're going to talk you through everything, and they're going to talk hockey with you too, if that's your thing. And if you're listening to this podcast, it probably is your thing. So it's the Neofis Insurance Group. I'm going to give you the phone number as always. It's 412 364 3388, located very easy to find in the North Hills. Give our friend Bill a call. He will absolutely take care of you. So, Bill, thank you for everything as always.
Hey, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. You're the best, Bill. So, last week, I almost, whenever you are friends with Josh Yowie, it's, we have a thread between the three of us. I almost sent it into our thread to say, like, anything true to this, Josh? I saw some random Oilers podcast post that they're hearing something about Tristan Jarry going to the Oilers. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's not really legit enough. And then all of a sudden, Elliot Friedman, as Joe says, the one of the two gospel writers in the hockey world, comes out and says there is some legitimacy, there is some smoke around Tristan Jarry going to the Oilers. Josh, what do you know exactly is going on?
Well, I mean, what started this all was a podcast in Edmonton acted like it was a done deal, which was total bullshit. I have heard the Oilers have interest in Jarry, which makes sense. Their goaltending's not good. Jarry certainly has Edmonton connections. So yes, that they have inquired. Nothing has been close to happening, and I don't know that it will right now for the simple reason, the Penguins are in playoff position, and Jarry's their best goalie right now. I mean, that's the way it is. So I'm not saying he's untradeable or that they would never move him, but they're just not going to do it to get rid of his salary. Now, would they have done that 4 months ago? Yeah, absolutely. But things change. The Penguins didn't think they were going to be this good, and they didn't think Jarry was going to play this well. And so now, if you trade Jarry for nothing, and you're Kyle Dubas, and your team misses the playoffs by 2 points, how's that conversation with Sidney Crosby going to go this offseason? And how are Penguins fans going to feel about it? That's something you have to consider. Yes, Kyle's looking toward the future. That's his priority, but don't think for a second he doesn't want to make the playoffs this season. I promise you, I've gotten to know him well enough. This is a fierce competitor. He loves that his team is exceeding expectations. He does not want to hurt them this season. And I think there's a real chance that trading Jarry would hurt their playoff chances. So I just don't think it's going to happen right now. I really don't.
It absolutely would hurt their playoff chances, and I will address Mr. Friedman right now. Is I've always trusted him and you as my two trusted sources, but now he sounds like a TSN hoorah because he's saying we're interested in Quinn Hughes. What?
Yep.
No.
Oh.
Now you just sound crazy, Elliot. I mean, I'll give you. Like, hey, yeah, I know, Edmonton's interested. And what perked my ears up, not right now, but in the summer, I'd take Picard back. I like Jean-Luc Picard in the 2-hole and have him, as their backup goaltender to Miroshov next year. I don't mind that move if that's but it also retaining salary. You knew that was ridiculous. Like they're not retaining any salary.
No,
Jarry, because Jarry, if they want to move him, he'd be a hot commodity.
Right, and they might move him this summer. I mean, I could see even if he gets them to the playoffs, whatever. If they think Miroshov's ready this summer, then it probably does make sense to move that salary. But right now, at this very moment, especially the way Shilovs has looked lately, I think it would be hard for Dubas to justify to his locker room that we're trading your number one goalie. That's a good way to lose the locker room, quite frankly, and a good way to lose the fan base a little bit too. And I just don't think it would be sensible right now. That doesn't mean there's not a deal out there that could work where, if he is given a deal we can't refuse, fine. But I don't know that the Oilers have the pieces that would make sense for the Penguins anyway. And as for, what Elliott said about Quinn Hughes, listen, I love Elliott. He might well be the best in the business these days. He wasn't reporting that the Penguins are going to get Quinn Hughes. He was just having, I think, some fun talking about teams that, would have the pieces to make it work. And he knows the Penguins and Canucks like to, do trades together, partially because Jim Rutherford and Kyle Dubas have a good relationship. So I think sometimes on Elliott's podcast, he just likes to have a little bit of fun, and that, of course, gets all kinds of attention. But I don't think Quinn Hughes is coming to Pittsburgh. That would be a surprise.
No, but he does
He's
have
gonna have 32
relationship
thoughts.
with
So
Crockett. So if it means we have to give away 3 first-round draft picks so he doesn't go to Philly, I'm all for that trade.
That's a good point.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, throw away the future to make sure he doesn't go to Philly, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll lay
And
on
I
the
don't
train
know.
tracks to stop that.
Hey, Quinn Hughes is a great player, and I do think there's a real sense around the league from people I've talked with that he's not going to be in Vancouver forever. I don't think anybody really thinks that at this point. Listen, the Penguins are moving in a wonderful direction. They do have all kinds of assets at their disposal. I don't know if you just give all that up for one star player right now. I don't know if that's where they are, that it would really make all that much sense, even though I certainly do love Hughes as a player. It just doesn't make sense to me.
If it makes them a Stanley Cup contender, then sure, but I don't think it
Right.
does.
Probably not.
Totally revisit it in the summer. Because I'll tell you, if Gino retires, you get that money. I mean, there's there's Cal McCarr, and then probably the kid in the Islander.
Yeah.
and then Quinn Hughes. I mean, you're going to get one of the 5 best defensemen.
Especially with Carlson with only 1 year left on his deal after this year. Sure. I mean, Penguins are going to have a ton of money this summer to spend. Money's not even an issue. So no, I mean, you always answer the phone. But I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks and Rucker McGorty and whatever else it would take to get Quinn Hughes. I just don't think that would be sensible for the Penguins.
Well, no, you have Rutger and Kindle are off the table as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, those are untouchable. And I look at that report. I read through what Elliott said, and I thought to myself, well, he has a podcast, 32 Thoughts. Sometimes
a lot of thoughts.
That's a lot of thoughts to fill in. I mean, Josh, you have your 10 post game observations.
Yeah, and let me tell you, sometimes when it's another 2-1 loss in Jersey, it's Jesus Christ, I got to come up with 4 more. This isn't great. So 30,
why did I pick 10? Why did I pick
plus
10?
30? That's tough. Yeah.
And Elliott is a staunch Canadian, and Canadians always think that everyone can't wait to help the Canadians.
That's right. And I listen, I love Elliott on a personal level. I really do. But I work with Pierre LeBrun and Chris Johnson. They're great guys. I get along with them all. But the Canadian media in general, they like to try to will things to happen sometimes, especially the Sid trade rumors. They just want to will it into existence sometimes. I have always sensed that from the Canadian hockey media a little bit. So yes, I'm sure everybody would love to see Quinn Hughes get traded or Sidney Crosby. We all get excited for trades, right? But it doesn't always work that way. And the NHL's they're not the wild west like the NBA is, with superstars being traded all the time. It's a little different in hockey these days. So I'm intrigued by the Hughes situation. Vancouver's really stinks. They're not a good team. So I'm sure they will trade him at some point here. But I still don't know that the Penguins are the destination that makes the most sense.
Well, thank God it's not basketball. If it was basketball, Sid and Bergeron and the Rat would have always, hey, we only want to play in Montreal.
That's right. 60 games a year.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going here. And, and Ovechkin and Cooch and Malkin would have picked, it would be Panthers, and that'd be it.
That's actually a great point. That'd be a fun article. If this were the NBA, which city would each player play in? Now that's actually very true, Joe.
There'd be 5 super teams, and the rest would be all the teams that you can't even what?
Right. And that I will say, God, I know it's December 9th, so we're many months away. But in my mind, I'm already thinking about the playoffs 4 months from now and just how insane, especially the Eastern Conference playoffs will be because these teams are so evenly matched. We're not going to have a clue who's going to win any of those series. I don't remember a time when the National Hockey League had parity like this. It's incredible. Like I think looking at the big picture, I think Colorado and Dallas are the two best teams. I think there's a bit of a drop after those two. But then like 3 through 20, like I don't know. I have no idea how to rank them.
I agree with you. And when I first started doing this, like at Puck Off years ago in Sideshow, there was 2 years in a row. I got 8 out of 8 first round mashups right.
Yeah.
I think last year I got like 3.
Right? No, I know
it used to be like, oh, boom, Detroit, Colorado. It's like it was so easy to pick who's going to win the first round. Now it's really impossible. It's and I agree. I mean, look at the West. Well, did you guys see Sullivan melt down on Sunday night? I was watching that game. Yikes! I've never seen Sullivan that mad.
What's the record at the Garden now? About like 4-12 or something. They can't win at home.
Not really
3-11.
Yeah, no, I know they can't score at home. And here's a plug for my Pro Hockey News article published and it will also be appearing on our Two for Talking website.
Absolutely.
Very soon. So yeah, but I
by the time this is out, you'll be able to see it on twofortalking.com.
All the Eastern Conference grades, and didn't give the Rangers a good grade. Yeah, I picked them first, and not living up to the hype.
No, they've been disappointed. By the way, while I just mentioned Colorado and Dallas, I'm going to bring this up again because I bring it up a lot and it drives me nuts. I'm a proponent of the 1 through 8 playoff format. I think most hockey fans are. In fact, I did a Twitter poll last year, and 95% of people prefer it. We're going to get Colorado and Dallas again in the second round. And those are the two best teams in the West. I'm sorry. That should be the Western Conference final. I'm going to tell you that right now. They got to do something about this playoff situation. And nobody likes it.
Like Edmonton benefited from that. You're in the Western. You show up to the Western Conference final playing against a team that just went through hell. It's
not that the Kings in Vegas are anything to sneeze at, but
no,
they don't have to go through Colorado and Dallas. That's certainly has helped Edmonton, to say the least.
Yeah, I would say, looking at the playoffs right now for the East, because I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit, like who's the best and everything, and you kind of brought it up, Josh. And this again, I just said, temper my Yinzer enthusiasm, but here I go looking at the Eastern Conference, thinking honestly anybody can come out. It might change between now and the playoffs, but there's nobody that's really running away with it. So I don't know. Maybe if the Penguins did get a piece and Jarry stays on this trajectory, I wouldn't rule out them getting to a conference final. And then what happens? Who knows?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I
come on, Josh. I'm trying to get excited.
Listen, I think there's a real good chance they're going to make the playoffs. I'd give them a better than 50-50 chance to make the playoffs based on what I've seen. And I sure wouldn't have said that even a month ago. But no, you're right. There's not one dominant team in the East, especially with the way Florida and Toronto have struggled. The best team I've seen is Tampa. I think if Tampa's healthy and Vasilevsky keeps playing the way he is, I kind of wrote them off a year ago, Joe. They're still pretty good. They have a way of kind of reinventing themselves every year. That's a pretty darn good team on paper.
I think Tampa's the class of the East right now because if you think about it, they just got him back, but they were playing without Hedman, McDonough, and Chernak.
And Point.
How do you miss those 3 defensemen and still go on a winning streak? I have no idea. And a top 6, a guy that was penciled in for Team Canada, didn't have to show up at tryouts. No. He got the Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon treatment.
By the way, Jake Gensel gets faster every year. He's like 31 now. And the way he blew past Letang and that one rush, I've never seen Jake skate like that. The guy gets better every year. He's unbelievable.
In Hagel, Hagel's a stud. But to get to Corey's point, I don't think it's irrational to say that the Penguins, this Penguin team, nobody added, everybody healthy, giving Gino his hopefully not too long. Hope he can show up for Montreal on the 21st at home for my daughter. But give him his 3-week spa for the Olympics. I don't think it's out of the question that this team can't win the Metro Division in the playoffs. You're telling me that a motivated Sid and Gino can't beat the Carolina Hurricanes in a playoff series. The only team that I think is definitely better is when Jack Hughes stays out of the steakhouse.
Well, Jersey's been a bad matchup for them for years.
And they have high ends. I mean, Jack Hughes is a phenomenon.
He is. No, and I think Washington's pretty good. Like I don't think they're as good as they were last year, but I wouldn't discount them either.
No,
the Metro is better than we thought. Like I'm waiting for the Islanders to fade eventually, but I always underestimate them every year. They're always better than I think they're going to be. And Philly's not as good as their record. I'm convinced of that. I think our friend Rick Talkin's done a hell of a job there. But
incredible job. That team
right.
on paper stink. You watch that team; they stink. I mean, it's. But I'm just saying, guys. It's not like we're in the same division as it's not like we're in the Central. We got to get through Dallas and Colorado and an upstart Minnesota team or whoever. It's like not one team is like, whoa, they're way better than us.
I would agree with that. I do think there is the psychological aspect here. If the Penguins do make the playoffs, and we're still months away from that, but if they do, what are you going to get out of Crosby and Malkin when they know it's probably their last ever postseason together?
Oh, yeah.
That's why the Penguins will be really scary to play against for another. You don't really want to play those two guys when they've got nothing to lose and they're just going at it, for old time's sake, one last time.
Well, I say it's like the Tom Brady effect. Whenever they sniff it, they're going for it. Like when Tom Brady got a whiff of a championship, I swear to God, if Sidney Crosby gets within 5 games, six wins of a Stanley Cup, look out.
Yeah. And we haven't seen Raquel in 2 months. That's going to be a big boost. If he's 80% what he can be.
He skated today, by the way, for the first time with the team.
I know. So. It's like, well, put a damn cast on your hand and let's go. I don't want to see Hayes.
I think we'll see Raquel.
Play second line.
Yeah, but we'll see Raquel before Christmas. I don't know exactly when. Remember, a broken hand is tough for a guy who shoots the puck like he does. So you want him to be close to 100% before he comes back. But boy, will he make a difference. They have really missed him.
I'm a little worried that he would go right back into the top power play. Do you think Kindle stays on the power play when Raquel comes back? I know that's weeks away, but
it depends on when Gino comes back too.
That's true. Yeah, now that Gino's out.
No, I'm really curious because I think other than Sid, I think Kindle's been their best power play player. He's really good at it. It all comes naturally to him. Now, I don't know who you take out. Like, Rusty might not be a natural power play guy, but he wins so many 50-50 puck battles. He's gotten pretty good on the power play over the years. You don't really want to take him out. Gino's obviously having a great year. Raquel, though, might be your best natural goal scorer on the power play, so he certainly makes a difference. Who do you take out? Do you take out Russ, Kindle, or Malkin? I guess those are your options if Raquel goes back in. I don't know who the answer is, but I do know that I would not remove Kindle from the top power play. I just think he's been that good. I think it all comes naturally to him.
I think Raquel slots in perfectly on the second power play personally. Because I think because I think he's a number one talent, but why not have him on the second power play with Letang?
Well, and I guess you could say if it ain't broke, power
play. It's not like Hayes deserves to be on the power. I know it seems like I'm just crapping on Hayes for this whole show, but I mean, that's a guy that can move. Because I like having Mantha or Brazeau. I like a big body. We've been putting that second power play looks good with a big body standing there. I'm not against, Rusty coming out and having Mantha or Brazeau standing in front of the net on power play.
Well, and I will say, you're kind of talking me into this, Joe, because you look at the top power play when healthy. Before Malkin was hurt, you have Crosby, Malkin, Carlson, Kindle, Rust. Those 5 guys have given you the number 1 power play in the National Hockey League. So why would you break it up, right? I mean, I mean that's one way to look at it. Those 5 have been so darn good, and the second power play has been good too. And if you have a second unit with maybe a Mantha and a Novak and a Raquel and Letang, that's pretty good. It is. So they certainly have some depth in that area that they haven't had before. It's a good problem to have, I guess. But I will say, I think where Raquel will help more than anywhere the top line really hasn't been that great. Sid and Rusty haven't had anybody consistently to play with. Kevin Hayes isn't the guy on that line. Novak has some skill, but I don't really think he's the long-term answer there. They need Raquel back to help that top line. It hasn't been nearly as dominant as it was last season, and I think him missing is a big part of why.
Well, that's a great point, Joyce, because I think they're getting their cookies on the power play, Sid and Rusty. And I think when they've been scoring, sometimes it's been leftover a fourth line assist, or like Gino's been staying out there, or just been like an incredible individual effort. It's not like they've had their usual first line zone time where they're just cycling the puck. You're absolutely right. But I think even crazier than the power play being in the top 5, which I thought we think is our birthright since 2008. How our penalty kill is in the top 5. How is that even possible?
I know it's been something to see, and I will tell you, Lizotte being out is going to be a problem because that guy is one hell of a penalty killer. He makes plays every game where he's giving up his body, he's diving for loose pucks. Like I love the way he plays, especially on the PK. But you have Achari back, which helps. The most amazing thing to me about the PK is that we have seen Erik Karlsson on the ice a ton, and he's been effective. Like his skating ability, like he really makes it difficult for other teams to get set up because his skating has been so impressive. He's really using his wheels to help defensively. I sure didn't have that on the bingo card before the season that Erik Karlsson would be a big part of the penalty kill, but he has.
And Shea and Wotherspoon, your number 1 penalty kill defenseman.
I mean, those two have been. We've talked about Wotherspoon a lot and what a good pairing he's been. But how about Ryan Shea? I know he had the one bad turnover the other day, but he has been so dependable, and we know playing with Letang is not good for a defense partner's blood pressure or anything else. It's a lot of responsibility. But this guy Shea, I mean, he's going to be earning himself a good bit of money if he keeps playing like this. This guy has really turned into a solid, dependable defenseman.
I think so too. Now, I'm more of a I like the kid from Boston more than you do. And I came in really liking Dumba. I have not been impressed with Dumba, but
I think Clifton's a little better right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember going in, you were a little bit down on Clifton, but does St. Ivany, can he play both ways, or is he a lefty?
He's more comfortable on the right side, St. Ivan. He's right-handed.
So St. Ivany may be the answer then with Graves.
Maybe. That's conceivable. I actually like Clifton's game. I didn't think Dumba played great in Dallas the other day.
He didn't.
Not terrible. He wasn't good. I think Clifton's a little better, and it looks like Clifton, by the way, will be back in the lineup tonight playing with Graves. I like Clifton. I like how willing he is to be physical. But yeah, I still think there's room for improvement there. I don't know that we'll see Harrison Brunick there again this season. He's going to play in World Juniors, by the way. I've always been intrigued by St. Ivany. It was at the end of the season 2 years ago when he played so incredibly well down the stretch. I mean, he was outstanding. And he's never really, he had a bad training camp the next year, and he never really got on track. I would not mind him getting a look. I still think he's an interesting player.
I remember watching him in a Philadelphia hotel. He looked like Brooks Orpik with upside.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon game, I think the game they blew against Colorado, he looked like Orpik in that game. He's a big kid. Like 5-0, and he lost like 6-5.
Right.
Total penguin. I mean, total end of season's Sully era game. But Ivan, he just intrigues. He intrigues me. If Brunick ain't going to play tonight, he's not going to play.
Right.
This is
I don't think he is.
Flashy team, needs speed up and down. This is his perfect mix.
Right. No, I agree. St. Ivan, he's intriguing. He is, and we know who the top 2 pairings are right now, but that third pairing is still a little bit up in the air. They haven't been terrible, but I would love to see him get a look at some point. I still think there's something there.
Before we move to other sports too, I was supposed to say, I'm a big fan, but Novak looks pretty good with Sid. I'd rather have Raquel, but I thought Novak played really good in Dallas.
He's getting better. I did not like his game early in the season, but I will say There are signs. He's starting to put it together. He had the big game in Philly where he set up a couple of goals. He may set up Gino's game winner in Tampa as well. He's starting to contribute. I understand why he frustrates coaches. He doesn't like to go to the net. He's definitely a perimeter player. But you can still make use of some of the skill set that he has. And I think it's a smart move to put him on the top line with Sid and Rusty. Watching Kevin Hayes on that line, it's just too slow. I mean, sorry. Novak has got the legs to keep up.
You got somebody like Rusty to make up for, Novak's perimeter play. Rusty will go in there and knock the pipes off the moorings a couple times.
By the way, Joe, I don't know if you saw my article after the Dallas game, but I thought of you immediately. I think it's 4 out of 6 games Rusty's left with an injury.
Yes.
And he always comes back. And I said to him after the game, I said, hey, you getting a little pissed off with the hockey gods? Or like you get hurt every game. Like, this got to be driving you nuts. You're getting frustrated. And he just shook his head and he looked at me and he said, hockey's a man's game. That's all he said. What an answer.
I got scared. When he left the second, when he was on the bench, I thought he broke his forearm.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's like Rusty. It's like take a listen to our favorite guest, should be Hall of Famer, the great Artie Stevens. Get out of the way.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
He only knows one way to play the game. Mike Sullivan said it last year. He said, yeah, Rusty's not injury prone. He said, Rusty just is so courageous that he puts himself in harm's way. That's just the way he is. And going into the season, you're probably not going to get 82 games out of him. But you got to respect how the guy plays. I mean, man, he gives you an honest effort every night.
Yeah, every time I watch Brian Rust play, there's 2 people I think of. I think of Joe Bartnick, and I think of Brian Rust's mom. Because if you play hockey, you always know that mom who's sitting in the stands, like just crushing, Tums, because her son just gets crushed every game and has no, reckless abandon. So poor Mrs. Rust. That's probably a rough way to watch, but I'm sure
the Rusty Razor will be wearing the 8 tonight.
Yeah,
I would think so.
So before we get into the Steelers, college football. First of all, what a game between Ohio State and Indiana. That was a phenomenal championship game. But I want to start with Notre Dame. So Notre Dame had their feelings hurt, and they didn't get included in the playoffs because, they're not in a conference. Like, why? And I understand. Okay, they were a good team, but, you can't punish teams for playing a conference championship game. That's ridiculous. Alabama has 3 losses. Well, yeah, because they play in the SEC and they made it to the championship game. And then, Notre Dame withdrawing themselves from any bowl games. Look at their schedule next year. They play Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, Stanford, Syracuse, and USC. Like, I'm sorry, Notre Dame, get in a conference. Like, you don't want to challenge yourself. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, but I'll throw it out there to you guys for thoughts.
Well, it's not their fault the ACC stinks.
I wouldn't join the ACC.
That's an ACC schedule. That's the big problem. I mean, the bigger picture is there should just be the Big Ten and the SEC and absorb the other 8 or 10 schools that matter, and that's it. And the rest of them can all go play, in high school stadiums. You just make it professional football. That's what everybody wants anyway. It'd be completely the conference championship games would be, the best 4 teams SEC, best 4 teams from the Big Ten. Boom, 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 and you have your Super Bowl January 1st or whatever. But them not wanting to go to a bowl game, like, why should they? Auburn didn't want to go to a bowl game, and they have not. And the kids at Auburn ain't even going to college. I don't think it's a big deal that they don't want to go to a bowl game. I mean, it's like, okay, you know what they're doing? They're making their fans not have to go fly and pay money. It's kind of a cool. I don't know. I'm not offended by that at all, Josh.
Well, Corey said it. Like, they do need to join a conference. I've felt that way for a long time about Notre Dame. I don't really care what conference they join. I'm sure any conference would be very happy to have them. It complicates things when they just stay neutral like this. Do I think Notre Dame's one of the 12 best teams in the country right now? Yes, I do. I have no way to prove it just from watching. Yeah, I do. I think they're really good. I guess we just need to determine with this playoff, like, do we want it to just be the 12 best teams? I think that's what most fans probably want. Like, with all due respect to Tulane, does anybody other than people at Tulane give a shit if Tulane is, does anybody really think they can win this playoff? No, not really. So I know what you mean, Joe. I like seeing the heavyweights play, and I think when the 11 and 12 season, like Tulane, like, come on, that kind of invalidates it a little bit. So I understand Notre Dame being upset. I don't blame them, but when you're not in a conference, you're setting yourself up for this. Alabama got smoked by Georgia, but you're not going to get punished for being in the SEC championship game, and I don't think you should.
And Alabama played 4 games in a row. They beat 4 like top 15 teams. So, I mean, like, Alabama should be there. I mean, they're not Saban's Alabama, but they're a good team. I have a bigger problem with I think Oregon gets to play, one of the 2 teams that's like from a non-power 5. Like, that's like getting a bye week.
Yeah.
Ohio State still has the easiest path. Indiana has to play the winner of like Alabama, Oklahoma.
I know.
Yeah.
Indiana, if you're the number 1 seed, they should have to play the winner of Tulane and
right.
I don't know why they don't reseed. They should reseed after the first round.
I agree. And by the way, I don't watch as much college football as you guys do, but I did watch some this weekend. Boy, is Indiana likable. I mean, they're a very easy team to root for, aren't they? I love their quarterback, love their coach, and I mean, I don't know if I still wouldn't bet on them to go through the. I realize they're undefeated and they beat Ohio State. I don't know if they'd beat them again if they played. It's tough to beat Ohio State twice in a month if it comes to that. But they're a hell of a story. And they are. I would guess most of America, if they don't have a rooting interest, will be rooting for Indiana. Like, how can you not?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't won. They haven't beat, like, I think, a top. They never beat a number 1 team ever. They never beat Ohio State in 30 years. It's their first time they've been number 1 since like 19th since World War I. It's what Cincinnati's done, been incredible. But it's all Notre Dame's fault for all this in the first place. Because if they would be in the conference, no one would have to pretend that you have to find teams other than teams from the 4 major conferences. That's the only reason why they have this clause in there. Because if Notre Dame's good, you have to put them in. So it's kind of their own fault. And it's funny because I have a good friend of mine whose kid goes to Tulane, so I feel bad for her. Not bad for her, I can't read. But Miami, their quarterback used to be the Georgia quarterback, and he won unlikable SOB. Like,
he's the worst.
Any villain is the quarterback of Miami because he is a
Carson Beck.
Do not like that guy at all.
No, me neither.
No, he looks like somebody's future NFL draft mistake. And
it's always fun to root against the U.
As long as it's not Tomlin's.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, who I would love to see? I'd love to see Mendoza, Indiana's quarterback. I'd love to see him in the black and gold. I don't know where the Steelers are going to land in the draft. When it was looking like we'd be a top, like in the 11, 12, the Giants are probably going to be the first overall pick this year, and they don't need to get a quarterback. I don't know. Trade TJ Watt. Like, get whatever. What does it take to get to the number 1 pick and get a guy and just?
It's not 2021 anymore, so I'm not sure that would work. But
I know. I mean, TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and I don't know who else can we throw in there.
Mendoza,
Darius Slay, if we still had him.
I mean, Mendoza is going to be a top 5 pick by all accounts. And boy, just watching interviews with him, seems like a really mature, likable kid. I mean, he would certainly be popular here, but I don't know that the Steelers could put together enough draft capital to make that happen.
Well, he wouldn't understand the play calls because on 3rd and 3 for Indiana, you know what they did to seal the game? They threw a forward pass.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "What? We're grounding the ball into the dirt?"
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Steelers, we had a Steelers win. If you didn't know that was going to happen, shame on you for 6 weeks, because when Mike Tomlin has been embarrassed, he finds a way to scrap together a crappy win. So, there's a lot of Steelers fans. Oh yeah, we're back at it. We're ready to go. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to make some noise in this weak AFC. You won by 5 points. if it wasn't for that call on the field goal, you should have won by 1, which means that they could have been kicking a field goal there at the end to win the game. And also, is it just me, or when the Steelers win, it's like every single thing has to go their way? Every call has to break their way. Every big play has to go their way. They can't trade blows. If the other team catches any break, they're screwed. But I don't know. How did you feel about it, Josh?
I don't think the Steelers or Baltimore are very good. I just thought it was two very average teams playing. And I give the Steelers credit; they showed some guts. But to me, yes, they got a couple of calls, no question. But the difference in the game was Aaron Rodgers. I thought that was his best game with the Steelers. He looked far more mobile than we've seen. The very first throw of the game, I thought, set the tone for the entire, just unbelievable deep ball. I mean, right on the money. He threw 4 or 5 passes in that game that not many quarterbacks at any level can make. If he's going to play like that, I guess he gives them a puncher's chance against anyone. I think he's their best hope, is just to let him wing it and let him run the show on offense, because I still can't say I was blown away by anything else that I saw.
No, absolutely. I mean, the difference was Rodgers. I mean, he had 3 deep balls to our, number 1 receiver, and he caught him, and it was fantastic. And it opened up a few other passes, which was nice. And they looked like a professional offense until the fourth quarter.
Right.
And, give credit where credit's due. Watt, he's not Watt from 5 years ago, but the defense played good. 56 sack. I love the kid. The defensive back who made 3 plays and he got hurt. I hope he can play this week.
Pierre
played great.
He
But
was
the
Eccles.
no, not Eccles. The safety guy, Rudder Mucker or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm on
the guy we got from New England.
Oh, Peppers.
No, not Peppers. No, the one we traded for, Duggar or something.
Duggar.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly. We'd get there eventually.
By the way, that was the most Yinzer conversation ever. Like, we're just sitting there. What's his name again? Guy.
The 3 guys you all named, right? All 3 were not Steelers in August, right? Yeah, I mean, they've all been such a major improvement to the defense.
Well, I will say something for people that I'm critical of all the time. I thought Cam Hayward was a monster on Sunday. He was probably their best defensive player. And for all that I'm critical of Mike Tomlin, and this game certainly doesn't change my opinion of him, I will say Tomlin always has a plan for Lamar Jackson. Like, Lamar does not like playing against the Steelers. He hasn't really looked himself all season. But they just know how to shut him down. And for the life of me, I don't know why John Harbaugh just doesn't hand off to Derrick Henry every play. They weren't going to stop him, but Lamar didn't have a great game, and he doesn't like playing against the Steelers. That's been a very clear theme over the years. So they won. If you want to break down the schedules, Steelers are probably going to win the division. Baltimore still has to play New England and Green Bay, and then in Pittsburgh and in Cincy. Like, and the Steelers get to play Cleveland and they home to Miami on a Monday night, which they'll be favored. I mean, they're in the driver's seat to win the division. I don't think that means they're going to go out and win a playoff game. I sure wouldn't bet on that. But it wouldn't shock me if they win 9 or 10 games and get the 4 seed. That's kind of the path we're going down now.
The Cleveland and Miami, they just seem like trap games, though. Given it's Tomlin, given it's Monday night,
they could lose to anyone.
Yeah, and
Steelers. I will say the Steelers haven't lost a home Monday night football game since 1991, so they have history on their side in that one. But they also haven't won in Cleveland in a few years, so I wouldn't count that as an automatic win either.
I don't count that at all. I see Sanders running around for 500 yards and throwing, and the liar lineman tackling. That's all we need him to end Aaron Rodgers' career.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean,
maybe he'll just hit him in the head with a helmet and claim Rodgers is a racist. That'd be the best thing that could happen.
True, that's conceivable.
Yeah, and the media would jump all over that. I don't see I don't know. The Steelers, to me, it's just the same thing. Nothing really changed. Congratulations, they won. But yeah, Tomlin just seems. And by the way, the Ravens fans complaining about Likely's touchdown, I I don't know if I hate the rule. I mean, by rule, that was not. But they're trying to compare Likely's touchdown to like Jesse James against the Patriots. Like Jesse James caught the ball on a knee and then turned and lunged towards the end zone, and the ball wiggled in his hand a little bit, and they called that incomplete.
Yes.
That was like a milepost in my life of awful things that have happened sports wise. But that is nothing compared to Likely's, because I saw somebody say, "Hey, Ravens fans, if Likely catches this in the 50-yard line and it's called a fumble, would you be happy?" Because they probably wouldn't, and if we get into this, I don't know, it's just a weird thing. Like he got 2 feet down, but he didn't control the ball.
I thought the more egregious call was the field goal penalty on the
Absolutely.
Ravens. That was really terrible call. I mean, listen, the Steelers got a couple calls in that game. Let's be honest. Those things tend to even out. However, I thought the Steelers outplayed them most of the game until the fourth quarter when they couldn't do anything right. But like I said, the difference that Rodgers badly outplayed Lamar. And the Steelers didn't have much of a running game. That was just Rodgers going back and winging it and ad-libbing and turning back the clock a little bit. And I just thought he played a hell of a game.
He really did. I've been so against. I have 2 big points here, not big points. I'm been so against that. Oh, you bumped into the guy snapping the ball. This is football, for Jesus' sake.
It's
I mean,
embarrassing.
you can't bump a guy. He might get hit in the neck. That's why he has a house and a car. To take a hit in the head once a year, 5 times a week on a Sunday. Give me a break. Honestly, they've called that against the Steelers a couple times. It drives me nuts.
Yes.
Now, instant replay, I hate it. I hate it in hockey. I hate the offsides one. I think if you don't blow the whistle, if you don't call it, if they don't buzz down from Toronto in a second,
Right.
or if the defensive team touches the puck, it should be done. Or you have 20 seconds and that's it. If it wasn't called, then that's it. Let's all play hockey. I hate it on goalie interference. I hate it because it's always a judgment call. And it's like, why? And now they're goalies are more protected than NFL snapping centers. But when I really hate it is when it's a catch in the NFL. If it's a catch in the backyard, it has to be a catch in the NFL. And somehow they've screwed it up where everyone knows it's a catch. Everybody. I'm happy the Steelers won as much as anybody, but you know it's a catch.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
Of course it was.
You know it's a catch.
I don't even know what a catch is or isn't anymore. And when Gene Steratore comes on to explain, I get even more confused. The referees talking about it made it even more confusing. Nance and Romo didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah, I mean, it's a real problem. It actually seems to me that officiating in the NFL does regress every year, which is amazing, but it truly does. But I talk about replay all the time. The fact is they still get it wrong all the time. They slow the game down. It takes away any spontaneous joy for fans. I don't mind it in hockey to determine if it was a goal or not. If the puck crossed the line, I'm fine with that.
Yes.
All the offside replay is bullshit. There's calls every game that are blown dead for being offside that weren't offside. So why is that okay?
Yeah.
But if that was offside, so that can't count. Like, what are we doing here? If you can't fix it all, then don't just play the game. It infuriates me.
We were trying to stop the Danny Briere play.
The third step, everyone knows is if you're in with 2 feet down, that's all you need is 2 feet down. It's a catch.
Right. I agree. I know.
And it would get to the Jesse James one. Was like, once you cross the ball, a quarterback is like, touchdown. Like, once you have the ball, it's a touchdown. So I'm glad Baltimore got screwed. But they totally, I mean, it's just not good because it can happen to come back and bite you in the ass.
That's watching the game. Watching the Monday night game, my girlfriend said to me, "Why is it okay for a guy to take the ball and reach over the line and that counts, but you can catch it and take 2 steps and that's not a touch?" I said, "That's a good question. I don't know."
I think it's going to get changed.
Sure will.
That night was another one of those. I think it screwed over. It helped Philly, I believe, and it screwed over the Chargers. Was one of these illegal motion. Like, what? They're grown men. Let them line up any way they want. Like, I don't. And then the other. Oh, this is what it was. It really made me mad. Was the Chargers? the guy jumped off and then jumped back.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, L.C. Greenwood did that 10 times a game. If you get back, you get back.
And you saw the Chargers offensive lineman when he saw it, he just stood up and pointed, and then they had to, call it on Philly or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, big baby. Oh, he jumped. Oh, it's like, be men.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. In many ways, the NFL over officiates itself.
Yes.
And like with the offsides thing.
Today is the birthday of the great Dick Butkus. And I retweeted this out. Check it out. They don't even show this on ESPN anymore. It's when I was a kid, the Dick Butkus highlight when he talks about how his favorite movie was seeing a head roll down the stairs. And that's the way football used to be. And that's the way football should be. If you're making all that money, you got hurt. Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we were trying to stop the Danny Briere play. So like you said, Joe, unless they buzz down and go, whoa, guys, that was a huge mistake. Just let it be. Just let it be. I agree. I mean, to take the side of the Lightning fans, sure, it was a hand pass. So if it got blown at the time, fine. But like, really, like, you call it back. But hey, a couple of calls with the Penguins and the Steelers ways. I'm not gonna complain. We've been screwed before, so I'll take it. But that'll do it for us this week on the Two for Talking podcast. We appreciate you as always. And again, just to throw back out there again, this Saturday, the 13th, Joe Bartnick, Ugly Christmas Sweater Party, Matt Light's Ugly Christmas Sweater Party at the City Winery. So definitely make sure you get there.
2 shows, 7 and 9:30 or 7 and 10. But for those confused, and believe me, I was for the DVE Comedy Jam. It's the one in the Strip, not the one up in Lawrenceville.
All right. The winery in the Strip.
Or one's the Old City Winery, one's the New City. Whatever it's the one in the Strip. Go to Permanis and make a right.
And then go see Joe Bartnick and have a great time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you next week.